Hello, everyone, and welcome to Streamline Your Civil 3D Workflows with the AEC Collection. My name is Juliana, and I work in marketing here at MicroCAD. And today's presenter is Tim Corey, our applications engineer. This webinar, hi Tim. This webinar will introduce new and more efficient workflows for your civil projects, which is definitely worth 30 minutes of your time. Throughout the webinar, you can ask a question at any given point on the left-hand corner. You can ask Tim to revisit a step or ask any questions. This is your time, and we want you to make the most of it. And in the upper left-hand corners, you will find links to our social media and website. Also, make sure to check our YouTube channel. We post all of our webinars here at the end, so you can share with colleagues or reproduce it on your own. So, without further ado, we'll pass it on to Tim.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for attending today. We have about a half hour here, and so my plan is to go through what is part of the AEC Industry Collection, explain what that is to you, etc. Let me get I got kind of a slideshow, plus I have live software I'm going to show as well, so I'll switch back and forth. So I need to share my screen. And share. Okay, so you should see my PowerPoint presentation. That photo there, that is not Brad Pitt or George Clooney. That's actually a picture of me. I know it's hard to believe. And then there, I've got a list on the right-hand side of what is in the AEC collection. So just a quick overview of what the collection is, how do you get it, etc. I'm sure most of you nowadays are already familiar with the fact that you don't purchase Autodesk software, you subscribe to it. So they have different levels that you can subscribe to. For example, someone that does civil engineering design might subscribe to Civil 3D. Or the option then is to subscribe to AEC Collection. So today is to kind of show you a couple of the big features of what you get when you spend the extra yearly fee to have AEC Collection. So here's a list of some of the products. You have AutoCAD, plus you have the AutoCAD vertical tool set. So AutoCAD Architecture, AutoCAD MEP, AutoCAD Map, and some others, all right? You get Civil 3D, some other things here. Autodesk InfraWorks, I'll touch on that today. This is a big time saver for certain parts of infrastructure type projects, okay? So I'll show you some of that. Recap Pro, so if you have a drone and you're taking photos, you can process those photos through Recap Photo, or if you have point file formats other than Autodesk format, you can run those through Recap Pro and then open those up in Civil 3D to create surface models, etc. You also get Revit, which is the Autodesk architecture and structural design software. Okay. For civil type work, vehicle tracking, and this is what lets you do swept path analysis of how your vehicles are going to travel down roadways or travel on your parking lots. Vehicle tracking will do roundabout design, both horizontal and vertical design. So it'll read your vehicle library and make sure that no vehicle is going to bottom out going over a vertical curve in your roundabout, as an example. That's part of vehicle tracking. Okay, so the two major features that I really want to show you today are not only InfraWorks, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but InfraWorks ModelBuilder. This is something that you will use at the very beginning of a project as a way. Let me get that over here on this screen. And you'll use ModelBuilder as a way to start your project. For those of you that have been in this end of Autodesk business, Civil 3D, for a while, like since the 2012 version, may remember that we had connection to Google Earth back at that time, and that would bring in aerial photos as well as terrain models. Well, Google and Autodesk had a disagreement over the licensing on that, and so Autodesk dropped that for 2013. And then eventually, a couple years later, they came out with their own called ModelBuilder, which is part of InfraWorks. So I'm going to open ModelBuilder. Similar to Google Earth, it gives me a map, and I can zoom in anywhere I want. Okay. So here's my hometown, Redding, California, and I want to find Shasta View Drive. This will take me to that, and I'll move up towards the a little more northerly end of it. There's some ponds and things. Okay, yeah, up in here. All right, so I'm interested in this area where these ponds, streams, existing subdivisions, etc. I want to capture this and be able to bring it into Civil 3D. Okay, so I'm right in here. I just give the model a name. Call it that. Pick a coordinate system. I like to just use LL84, latitude, longitude, okay? And then within Civil 3D, I'll set up a state plane coordinate system. Like for this, I would use California State Plane Zone 1, US foot, okay? Anyway, so then you would say create model. And what it does is in the background then, it creates that model, and then that'll show up here on your recent files list. Okay, I want to open it. I open it up. And what happens is this model then comes in with terrain from this area, for that whole project area that I had zoomed. Okay. Streets. You can see the streets here. Those are objects. I get down in here, you can see the contours, you can see the 3D terrain. Notice the buildings. This comes from what's called Open Street Maps. Okay, and it shows the buildings for you. All right, as well as, of course, aerial images. Now, if you want, you can go look at your layers, and I like to turn off the images. Then I can see the terrain is kind of graded. Not as cluttery looking when you do it like this. Okay. And what you're seeing here with the contours is what they call engineering view. You don't have to have contours. You can do what they call the conceptual view. Okay. You still see it in 3D, but there's no contours. With the contours, of course, it helps you see the 3D just a little better. Okay, let me look here. Okay, model. Okay, so let's take this now back over to Civil 3D. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now with InfraWorks, oh wait, I want to show you one other thing before I leave here. Just a real quick way to be able to add a road in here and calculate earthworks on that road. So let's say I want to go from the end of this over to here with a little road of some sort that I'm going to sketch in, right? What I can do is go here to create component road, tell it the type, a 2-lane road, 4-lane road, just a sidewalk only, etc. And where do I start? I click on this, it'll start on that object. I want to come down here, it'll add a curve automatically. I'll come in here. Now if I want to intersect into this, just double click here, and then it'll intersect. So now this is what's called a component road. All these objects have properties available. So if I have that selected, I look over here on the properties dialog. I can set my grading method. Okay, I want it to grade as much as 100 feet. And then here's my cut slope is 3:1. My fill slope I have, let's go to 4:1 for that. Okay, let it update. Okay, so there it is, all graded out. Now, to calculate earthworks, I hope you have the time. Press this, then press this, and there's your cut and fill for that road. All right. So it takes up to a few seconds to do that. So it is very quick. Okay. So I want to send this then back over to Civil 3D. Now notice in here, I've got lots and lots of these little, what they call planning roads, all little streets in the subdivision. Okay. I'm not going to want all of those, right? I want to be able to filter those out and just get my component roads, which are kind of the more heavy-duty design type roads. So I'm going to close this. All right, let's get back over to Civil 3D now then. Showed you that. Showed you that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to start a new drawing based on the Civil 3D Imperial template. But then the very next thing I need to do is make sure that I set up the drawing and assign a global coordinate system. California NAT 83, Zone 1, US foot. Okay, so once I've done that, geolocation available. So now if I import my InfraWorks data, so I go InfraWorks, open model. Okay, let's go find that model. Here's Reading Shasta View SQLite, right? All these files are SQLite, SQLite, I guess you might call it. Okay. So I'll say okay to that. Now, right now, it's going to want to come in and use the entire area that we have in InfraWorks. But what if I want to pick a smaller area? Well, I can go here, area of interest, and watch this. I think this is really cool. I say select area, and it will automatically turn on the Bing maps that's part of AutoCAD, be zoomed in on the area, and then I can come in and pick a corner, a couple to do what I want. Maybe I just want like this. Okay, so I don't have to have all these other streets and terrain, etc. Now, remember I told you there's going to be a whole bunch of these planning roads, all these little subdivision streets. Well, that's where I go into Refine Selection Set, and these are the planning roads. Maybe I don't want any planning roads. And then these are my component roads, or the design roads. Okay, so that all looks fine. And okay, these are the water areas. All this looks good. I say okay, and I say open. Okay, and it brings using the model within the area I selected. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my map off. There we go. So now we just have Civil 3 and these objects. You'll notice here it brings in a couple of surfaces, existing transportation. I'm going off all those words. Hard to see what we're looking at. There we go. Okay, so here's the existing ground that it captured from the model builder. Here's the existing transportation surface that comes from model builder, the existing proposed or design, okay, as well as any alignments. Here's those design roads or component roads. All right, notice there's automatically corridors are built, right? All right, so we have the terrain, we have corridor to start, we have alignments. If I wanted to do profiles, the alignments have profiles. I just haven't yet drawn profile views for them. Okay, so let's say I got this guy here, alignment, and a surface profile. You know, and let's just draw in view. I can very quickly get to laying out my design profiles. If I also very quickly get into cross sections, do sample lines, alignment. Okay, these data sources are fine. And so, okay. Tell it to use corridor rotations and the swath width 50/50. And it draws my samples. Once I have those, then I can create the section views. Let's go ahead and do multiple section views. And I'll just go from 0 to 700. Oh, that's good. Just create section views. And there I very quickly have section views with the corridor cross section as well as surface sections in these section views. Okay. All from data that was imported from the model builder. So that model builder really is a really quick way to be able to get started with your project and get started towards your detailed design and documentation on this. Okay, I'm going to change gears here just a little bit. Yeah, that's all that. Okay, let's talk about the grading optimization for Civil 3D. This is a tool that comes with the AEC Collection, is a separate install from Civil 3D, but then is run from inside Civil 3D. You'll find it here on the Analyze tab of the ribbon, way over here on the right. This is the grading optimization. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I have this called multi-parcel. Okay. When you run the grading optimization, there's a couple of tool palettes that you need to be aware of. This is where you get the actual building objects. So what you do is you start off, you sketch just with polylines. Like if I wanted to do a building site here, I could do a polyline. This could tell, hey, that's a building pad. When I do that, that'll call up the grading properties, and then I can do things like set the elevation, either a range of elevations. I want that, say between 45 and 55. Oh, excuse me, that sneeze came on suddenly. Okay, so I want to say keep them between 45 and 55. Okay, that's all cool. So I've set that one object. So then you just go along converting 2D lines into these various. Right? Once you have those placed, then what you do is you run the optimizer. That's the, oh, let me show you the grading objects browser. The grading objects browser shows you the actual objects that are in your drawing, grading objects. So I have 19 building pads. Okay, there's one, another. Okay, let's turn that off completely. Okay, and I can just go down and it'll show me each of those. Okay, and I set all the properties I want for these. I've added drainage lines in here. Okay, I've added an exclusion zone because I designed the road with a corridor, and then I output the outermost feature line as like a back of walk, and then call that an exclusion zone. So as the optimizer is running through trying to optimize this grading design, it's not going to change anything within that exclusion zone. Okay, so my corridor is kind of king for designing of the road. All right, so now I'm ready to optimize. You also know the existing ground surface. I'm here, it's just the one called EG. And you wait just a moment, and the optimizer turns on, and you'll see your surface. Okay, so here's my surface. Now, familiar dialog. Here's the grading object browser with the list of all the building pads, right? If you have a pond, I don't have a pond retaining wall. Some zones, exclusion zone, exclusion zone. Here's the actual exclusion zone. That's the street area. I've got a grading limit. Okay. All right. These are all the drain lines. Got a bunch of those. Okay. All of these various grading objects can have design parameters added to them. Okay, now before I optimize, I can also set some preferences. Yeah, do I want to refine the surface as I go? Yes, that's fine. I don't care about that. Let's go look over here at my optimization options. Okay, iterations. How many times does it run through trying to match all these parameters? Okay, 100 iterations is a pretty small number. You may not get the final result you want, but you won't be here till tomorrow morning either. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on that. This is my minimum and maximum drain slope, and then objective weights. So if I'm really worried about making sure I balance my earthworks, I could set this to importance of 100. Okay. Smoothing the surface, I don't care. I'm going to set that to 0 and minimize earthworks. That's just how much dirt we're going to move around, regardless of whether we're balancing cut or fill, but just how much do we have to move to get that balance, basically. And I'll leave that on 50. Okay. Now, once I'm ready to run it, I can go here and hit optimize. Okay, it's going through, starting preparing things. It's kind of seen. This preliminary tools, then it'll start showing the actual optimization. I don't know what we did over here. We got some parcel that we gave some bad elevations to. Huh. I don't know which one that is. It's over here. Oh. Yeah, we just set a level with pad, but didn't set any elevation for it, so it's going up in space. Where was I? Grading optimization. Okay, so it's done its 100 iterations. Okay. I'm going to take that, let me figure out which, I think that is called pad 14. So let's take that and set that at 40, elevation of 40. So it's elevation, and we'll say fixed elevation 40. Okay, good. All right, so then I would take over here in the grading optimization, I could take building pad 14. I could do the same thing here if I wanted. I pick it here, and then these are the properties for that one. So I don't have to go to Civil 3D and back. Okay, so now let's optimize it again with those new values, and we should do that, you know, the Twin Towers showing up there. Oh, well, it didn't like my change. I can see that. Oh. That's the right spot. Ah, it looks different now. Oh no, it's over. Oh, that is not the one I thought it was. It's over here. Well, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to pretend that's fine, right? So let's go now. Once we've optimized it, we sort of like it, then we can go here to send optimized result. What this does, this sends this result back to Civil 3D as a sequence.
Tim, we're losing you. Like you're breaking out. Do you have maybe headphones that you can connect?
Better now or not? No.
Yeah, you're breaking out.
I don't know why
Okay, now we can hear you.
I have headphones. Okay.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
All right. Oh, I touched the cable and moved it a little bit within the USB. Okay, so now I have the surface. Then I also have feature lines. So here I could save the feature lines to a new site if I want. Geo is grading optimization. Okay. And any high and low points that it collected, I'm not going to worry about these. And I'll finish.
Hey, Tim, we lost you there. Okay, now you're back.
Now I'm back. Okay. So here's that surface. Okay. Huh. you can see all these other various pads in there it was optimizing for, right? Basements. Okay, and well, it's taking its time giving me, so there we go. Here's the feature lines from grading optimization. There they are. These are all those feature lines. Whoops, down here. There's one, etc. And these are feature lines. Okay, so that's my time today. I can entertain any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you, Tim, for that wonderful presentation. And as Tim just said, you can ask a question on the left-hand corner. I already see some questions. And the first one is, ModelBuilder looks similar to Google Earth. Can I connect to Google Earth data?
No. Yeah, Google Earth is an old technology that Autodesk used to support with Civil 3D and AutoCAD. But they made they disconnected from Google for, I don't know the exact reasons. They don't usually call me with major corporate decisions for reason I don't know. So they disconnected from Google Earth, and then but they still needed a solution, because that was very, very popular, was that ability to just zoom in on Google Earth and have aerial photos and terrain. Okay, so that's what ModelBuilder does for you. But it does not in any way connect to Google Earth data. Now, we can export from Civil 3D to KML that you could bring into Google Earth and view in Google Earth, but you're not going to view the Google Earth data in Civil 3D.
Thank you, Tim.
Hopefully answer it.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer, but yeah. Second question. If my subscription is for Civil 3D and not AEC Collection, how do I get grading optimization?
You'd have to upgrade your subscription from Civil 3D to AEC Collection. The grading optimization is not available outside of the AEC Collection. So even though it's grading optimization for Civil 3D, that's the name of it, right? Even though that's the name, it doesn't mean it comes with Civil 3D. It comes with AEC Collection. If you want to know what it costs to move from a Civil 3D subscription to an AEC Collection subscription, our sales reps at MicroCAD would have all that information. If you know who your sales rep is, maybe give them a call, or you can always contact me or Huli, and we can get you connected up with your sales rep for your account. And they can answer all the pricing type information for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, you can write Tim or myself or your sales rep, and we'll get you going. So yeah, if you want to learn these topics in detail, you can always take a custom training with Tim or someone else on our team. We also offer group classes online. So be sure to be checking the MicroCAD website for future webinars. And that concluded our webinar today. Thank you everyone for attending, and thank you, Tim, for that great presentation.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Huli. And we'll talk to all of you at some other point. Great. Thank you.
Happily. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.